Gilbert Arenas goes off on Stephen A. Smith for shielding his sources. Gilbert Arenas had a lot to say about Stephen A. Smith, all the reporters that refuse to cite their sources. Check out exactly what Gilbert Arenas had to say. What does journalism rely on? Arenas asked. When you break down their job, like the Woes and all of them, what do they rely on? All their information about the sport has to come from somebody else because they never done it. If someone like Woes tells you who's giving him the information, that means he's not effing important anymore. You are not important. You are a vessel for information. You are a preacher, not God. So Gilbert was cooking, basically, like, who are these guys? They never played basketball, football, whatever they're reporting on. They can't really put out the information themselves because they never played. You don't want to cite your sources because the whole thing with Jaylen Brown is he's not trying to like go off on these people, but he wants to talk to them one-on-one. You don't got to put them on blast. You don't got to say this individual told me this about you. But Jaylen Brown is like, look, man, I just want to know who that source is. I want to talk to them. Where are they getting this information from? How do you know that I'm not liked with these corporate businesses and these sponsorships and these brands? How do you know they don't like me? Who's saying this random stuff? Who told them this information? And that's basically what Gilbert Arenas is saying. Yeah, you can report on it, you can do all that stuff, but when it comes time to cite those sources, you don't want to have any smoke with that. So I know Stephen A. Smith is heated. He did respond. I'm going to cover that in another video, but just with the whole journalism thing, these people aren't going to give up their sources. We've heard Stephen A. and many journalists say they're not going to cite their sources. They can't do that because if you cite a source, you're not going to get that information again. People are basically going to be like, you're a liability because if we tell you something, you're going to run around and tell this athlete or tell this person. So when you got these sources, as much as I don't like it either, I want to know who these people are, you know it's never going to happen, especially when you get to the level like Stephen A. Smith, one of the best at what he does, ESPN, First Take, all these major shows. He's been having sources since he started in the business in the 90s. So he's not going to start just giving up the sources now. So I know Jaylen Brown, he's pissed because a lot of people are bad-mouthing him. He's lost millions of dollars based off hearsay and this person don't like you, this brand won't do business with you because you're outspoken. Even though all that stuff may be true, you would rather it come from Jaylen Brown. Let him debunk some of this stuff. He had a solid interview with Stephen A. Smith. Y'all definitely need to check that out. Say what you want to say about Stephen. He may, troll people. He may say things from time to time, but at least he's going to give you a platform to explain yourself, and that's what he did with Jaylen Brown. Shout out to Jaylen Brown. He's been standing on business for a while. He may not like everything that he does, but he has a voice and he's going to stand on it. He has principles that he's going to stand on, and no matter what people say, no matter what these businesses, these billion-dollar corporations, the Nikes, Adidas, he's going to tell it like it is. So, again, solid interview by Jaylen Brown. Gilbert Arenas, man, hey, people don't like what he has to say a lot. I know he's a LeBron guy. He probably works for Clutch Sports, but he's been on point, especially with this topic, just as far as Stephen A. Smith, the Woes, and all the other journalists out there that refuse to give up their sources. Like, subscribe, comment. What do you think about Gilbert Arenas going off on Stephen A. Smith? I want to know your thoughts about this. Like, subscribe, comment. Peace.